Right then, so med kits. Why carry them? Well, it's always a good idea to carry a med kit anyway, but if the shit has hit the fan and you've had to bug out or get home or whatever you want to call it, then you're not going to be in your normal circumstances, and chances are, even just the fact that you've maybe been in an accident, a car crash or something like that, there could very likely have been casualties. So it's always a good idea to carry a med kit, have it prepared, know what's in there, and be prepared to be able to use it, be competent and trained in that kit. There's no point carrying kit that you don't know how to use. So there's a lot of people out there that have got med kits that are made up of lots of sort of Gucci bits and pieces, things like chest drains, chest seals, IV sets, even tourniquets. If you don't know how to use them, you haven't trained on them, and you're not qualified and competent in that kit, there's no point in carrying it. Alright, also with the made up med kit, so you get stuff that's pre-prepared, that's already made up, make sure you're familiar with what's in that kit, where it is, what it's for, okay, because again, there's no point carrying it unless you know what it is and how to use it. So med training then, there's loads of good courses out there. Personally, I've done quite a few med courses over the years. I've done civilian and military courses, so I've done the FPOS-I, first person on scene intermediate, a couple of times. I've done the team medic through the army several times, which is fairly basic. It deals mainly with trauma, and then I've done the Pathfinder advanced medical course. Done that several times during my time in the Pathfinders, and that's a very in-depth, great course. It's 3 weeks long, and it's designed so that you as a medic within a small team working behind enemy lines can look after a casualty and keep them alive until you're able to extract him out of that area, and that could be 5, 6, 7 days, who knows. So on that course you do get taught a lot of advanced techniques, things like chest drains, stuff like that. You put in IVs, intravenous lines into each other live in the dark, using just like a very minimal light source, like a small section of silo, and we got to actually attend a couple of autopsies too. So quite interesting when you're seeing somebody's head getting sawed open and their brain getting pulled out for the first time. That's a bit of an interesting experience. But yeah, getting to see all their organs and where they're located, and sizes and stuff like that. So it's quite an interesting experience. But anyway, point is, know what you're carrying, know exactly where it's packed, how it's packed, what it's for, and know how to use it. Right then, what I've got here is my 2 medical packs that I carry when I'm out in the field, and what I've got on the left and your left here is what I call my primary med kit. So in here I've got my trauma kit, and what I've got on this side, this is my secondary med kit. So this is for health and hygiene and maintenance of the body. A lot of people will call this their boo-boo kit. Well, I'm not an American and I'm not a primary school child, so I won't call it my boo-boo kit. I'll call this my secondary kit. This is a Helican med insert. That's what I've used to put the primary kit in. It's a different pouch to the one I showed in the bug out bag video. I basically upgraded to this pouch, and this is another Helicon pouch. It's basically their small med kit pouch. Right then, so the primary med kit. So as I've said, this is for trauma, and this opens up nicely, quickly, so you can get to all the stuff to be able to save people's lives, basically. So if you've been in a car accident, someone's been smashed up, then you can get this open quickly and start addressing the injuries and saving life. On the front here, there's like a little small clear pocket, and all I've put in there is one of these little light things. So I always carry a head torch on me anyway, but just to have a small little light source in there, I think, for at night, it's handy. It's with the med kit, it's ready to go. So this opens up, and then at the bottom here, so facing you, I've got 2 pairs of gloves, okay, the surgical gloves. So that provides a barrier between you and the casualty. So it's protecting you from any infections the casualty might have, and vice versa. It's protecting the casualty from anything you might have, any lurgies. Alright. On the front of the kit then, before we go into the central part, there's a set of medical shears there. So they're accessed by just pulling up on this Velcro tab and then yanking them out. And then we've got a pair of the medical shears there that I'm sure most people will be familiar with. And they're just for accessing injuries. So chopping through clothing to get to injuries and stuff like that. So it's quite an important bit of kit. So the main part of the pouch then is accessed by pulling on these tabs here, and it opens up like so. Okay, and then going from your left then, what I've got here is a load of wound dressings, so pads and stuff like that. Then I've got an Israeli bandage in the centre here, which is a military compression bandage. And that basically, it helps stop the bleeding by basically putting a pad on it and then compressing around as well. So adding direct pressure onto an injury. Then I've got another military style item. This is a combat application tourniquet and a Sharpie pen. So the pen there is to mark the casualty with the time and date of when you applied the tourniquet. So the doctor knows when he receives that casualty what time that was applied, for obvious reasons. Okay, I've got some tape in the bottom there. That's just there because it's held on with a little Velcro keeper there. Then on this side here, I've got two little waterproof packets. What's in there then is some dressing, sort of bandage type stuff, so plasters and all that, but sort of larger ones. And then some actual Band-Aid type strips. So that's there to secure dressings to an injury. And on the far side here then I've got 4 hygienic cleaning wipes, so just to clean down injuries. So that is the contents of that kit right there. Secondary med kit then. So this is for health and hygiene and maintenance of your body or other people in your party whilst you're out. I reckon you're more likely to use this than the primary med kit. When you're out in the field, you are probably going to experience little bumps, knocks, grazes, potentially get diarrhea, stuff like that. So this is for just to keeping yourself and others up and running whilst you're on the move. So opening up the kit then, just access via 2 zips, and then there's 2 sections on the inside. It's quite a simple sort of pouch, which is something I like. So the way I've got this organised then is on one side it's mainly your medication, so tablets, stuff like that, and then on the other side it's mainly your sort of grazes, bumps and knocks, so plasters, small dressings, stuff like that. And I'll go through that now. Right then, so that's all the kit that's held within this pouch then, the secondary med kit. All this stuff is held on this side, all this stuff is held on this side. Generally speaking, it's divided up into medication type stuff here, and then on this side it's more for you like cuts and nicks and stuff like that. So tablets then, what I've got is cocodamol, and I've got 2 strips of that there, so that's your stronger sort of pain relief tablets. Then I've got paracetamol, Nurofen, so for just your headaches and stuff like that. Ibuprofen. Then I've got a whole load of Imodium, so that's there for diarrhea. And if you're outdoors, you're potentially eating things that you're not used to eating, living in unsanitary conditions, then having something like diarrhea is quite a high threat. So I'd say seriously consider putting something like that in your kit. And in conjunction with that then, what I've got here is 4 Diorolite sachets. So that's for replenishing your sort of electrolytes and all that following a bout of diarrhea. 2 tubes of creams then. I've got some Savlon antiseptic cream there, and then this is another Savlon branded cream, but that's for bites and stings. So moving on to the other side then, what I've got is, this is called Burn Shield, and that's basically, if you do scald yourself or something, it's not going to be able to treat any major burns, but it can give you a little bit of pain relief from things like a bit of a scald if you drop a brew on your hand or something like that. Or, you know, you're working with fire, you could potentially get yourself a little bit of a minor burn. Some alcohol-free wipes then, so there's 4 of them there, so cleaning injuries if you have any cuts and grazes and stuff. Set of tweezers, okay, so for removing little splinters, even ticks, things like that from your body. Then we've got a whole load of plasters here, so varying sizes up to some sort of fairly big ones there, all different sort of plaster sizes for all your sort of like nicks and cuts and stuff like that, which you will get if you're out in the woods for more than a couple of days. I've got a whole load of safety pins there, that's for securing dressings and stuff. A small scalpel blade, so for cutting away any sort of like dead skin or whatever, you know, if you were to have a bit of a ragged or traumatic injury, then I've got that there for just cleaning injuries out a little bit, or just maybe even accessing injuries. So over here, just a couple more plasters there. Over here we've got wound closures, so basically just for closing up open gashes and stuff. And then here we've got a blister kit, so I've got a whole load of Compeed coverings in there for blisters. And obviously with blisters you can also use plasters as well, and again that little blade there can be used for popping your blisters. So that's all the kit there that's in my secondary med kit. Alrighty, so that's my take on medical kit for use in a bug out bag, or for just in use in general when you're out on the hills or in the field. Okay, so personally I like to divide it down into a trauma kit, so you've just got that for a major trauma, car crash or whatever, and then you've got this one here is for your daily running, just your little bits and pieces that you might have, your cuts and grazes and stuff. Things to take away from this then: know what's in your med kit, be competent with what's in there, know how to use it, and be trained on it. So anybody got any comments, whack them in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe if you like what you've seen today, and we'll be seeing you again soon. Cheers.